How's it going, everybody out there? Chris here from Comic Frontline, and we are here yet again for another comic book review. Just dropped yesterday, Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, issue number 1. Now, as I'm showing you guys the artwork, I'm going to throw some little info out there. There are going to be spoilers, of course. But for those of you that read the previous book, now this book comes out of IDW. The last Batman TMNT crossover came out of DC Comics. DC Comics, Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was a crossover between the Batman from the comic books and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from their comic book. Now with the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman Adventures crossover, this crosses over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the Nickelodeon cartoon and the Batman the Animated Series Batman. Apparently this is Batman before he joined Justice League. So because he's got that yellow bat symbol, and it seems like things are a bit earlier on for the Batman career. But anyway, for those of you that really enjoyed the Batman Turtles crossover last time around and figured, oh boy, we're getting a part 2, that's not happening. We are getting that with Star Trek Green Lanterns coming soon. For this, though, they decided to change it up, and instead of crossing the comic books over again, they decided, like I said, to cross the cartoon universes. And for me, reading this book, the one thing I kept feeling, and as you guys know, I do read the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics, the cartoon show does also have a comic series that I don't read, for obvious reasons. It's a little bit more for a younger, it's targeted more for a younger audience or for fans of the Nickelodeon cartoon series. Batman, for those of you that read the Batman the Animated Series comic book as well as the Superman Adventures comic, I believe it was called Batman Adventures also, way back when DC Comics was producing those books, those two were for the younger audience that were watching the cartoon. Not saying that adults couldn't or didn't read it. Believe me, we did. I've read a lot of the Superman Adventure comics. Really cool. If you're a fan, again, of the cartoons, you'll like the comics. In this case, for this first issue, it is a miniseries, the same rule applies. If you enjoyed Batman the Animated Series, which we all know we all did, most of us did, and if you enjoyed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon that is currently on Nickelodeon, or if you enjoyed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book based off of the cartoon that's on Nickelodeon, you're gonna like this book. However, if you are going to compare this book to the crossover that we had earlier on in the year, you're gonna be slightly disappointed. I'm just gonna throw that out there now. It definitely has more of a cartoony sense to it. The Turtles feel like their Nickelodeon counterparts. Batman feels more like the Batman the Animated Series Batman, which I don't think anybody could complain about. That's the one thing I think nobody here is going to complain about unless you didn't like the animated series. So in this book, the crossover is going that the Batman's villains from Arkham Asylum have gone missing, and this weird triangle with like alien residue is in all of their cells, so to speak. We get a really cool intro with the Turtles dealing with a mugger, and it looks like it's Batman at first, but it's really Mikey. You guys saw the page with that. We get introduced to the Turtles. Then you've got Batman, who's going after Two-Face, who escaped from Arkham Asylum. And Two-Face is the one that dropped the hint that we got the rabbit hole. And he draws a triangle, and Batman goes into investigating that. While back in the Turtles universe, Donatello has discovered that Krang portals have been happening all over New York. So it's up to the Turtles to figure out what the Krangs are doing. And Batman's investigating where all his villains where his rogues have gone, because all he has right now is Two-Face, and I believe a couple of villains still in Arkham, but a lot of them have gone missing. In the book, the Turtles go investigate one of the portals, and as you guys saw from the artwork, they come face to face. I do want to show that page again, because they come face to face with Clayface, and that was a really cool fight between the Turtles and Clayface. I really enjoyed that part a lot. It was fun watching Mikey basically continually call Clayface, I forgot exact, mud butt. So that was kind of funny how Mikey kind of screwed around with Clayface a little bit. I enjoyed that, and obviously the Turtles got the upper hand. Clayface got sent back through the portal. Does that mean he's back in Gotham somewhere? I don't know. Is he back in Arkham? we're led to believe that he's back in the DC universe, at least again, the DC animated universe. So Batman figures something out about the portals, and you see him running off. I like the interaction between him and Alfred. It reminded me so much of the way the animated series Batman and Alfred kind of went side by side, like where Alfred made him a dinner, and he's like, I'm going to be busy for a while. And he's like, that's a good, because I didn't really there's really nothing under here. And it kind of makes Bruce smile a bit. And then, of course, he runs off, and we find out that Alfred actually wasn't lying. He really didn't have any dinner under there because he knew that that was what was going to happen. That was a classic Batman the Animated Series moment. But the book ends where one of Batman's villains is now in the Turtles universe, has made his debut, and he's fighting the Foot Clan. It's a he, and he has he has his own little crony who's fighting with him. I'm going to spoil it, but I'm going to warn you guys I'm spoiling it. So this shouldn't surprise any of you, really. But if you don't want to know who that villain is, you can skip ahead a couple of seconds. I'm only going to say it once and discuss it briefly. Okay, here we go. The Joker and Harley Quinn show up in New York City, and they have beaten the hell out of the Foot Clan. And all Joker wants is for them to take him to their leader, meaning Shredder, or Cowrie, or whoever is leading the Foot Clan. I don't know. I do not read the TMNT Adventures comic from IDW, so I don't know where that universe is exactly. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a learning experience for me, because again, I don't read the cartoon version of the comic book. But it looks really cool. You got Joker in New York City now. You got Batman trying to figure out where all of his rogues have gone. You got the Turtles that are dealing with the rogues that have crossed over already through the Krang portals. The only problem I have here is this is kind of the same scenario that we got with Batman and Turtles in the previous Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Krang teleported the Turtles and Shredder to Batman's universe in the previous volume. And now in this volume, it looks like Krang tried to reach out to the DC Universe creating portals. And instead of sending the Turtles and Shredder over to Batman's universe, this time villains from Batman's universe have escaped into the Turtles universe. Now this would have been cool if we would have had another comic book crossover where this time instead of the Turtles going to Batman's universe, Batman would have gone to the Turtles universe, and it takes place in IDW because IDW is publishing this book. I'm not completely let down by it. It does have a lighter tone to it. It does have a more young reader tone to it. So I'm not sure how... if you're a Turtles fan, if you're a Batman the Animated Series fan, you'll get something out of it. But in whole, I don't know where you would fall. It's hard for me to judge this book on a spectrum of... it depends on what you guys like to read. For example, my brother loves reading Sonic. Sonic, for a lot of people, weirdly enough, is classified as just a kid's book, yet adults read it. Same thing for a lot of books that come out of IDW. There's Scrooge McDuck, there's Donald Duck, there's the Duck Avenger. Yes, they've actually done it and made the Duck Avenger. There's Mickey Mouse. There's a lot of things that are focused for kids, yet us adults still do tend to pick up the things that we like. Like I love Garfield also. So it falls under the spectrum of, did you like Batman the Animated Series? Do you like the TMNT comic book that is based off of the cartoon? Because this is basically the artwork you get from that book. And I think that the artist did a really good job of translating Bruce Timm's art. I don't think Bruce Timm had any connection with this book. I'm going to make sure. No, he did not. Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to sound stupid. But I think the artwork was translated really nice, comparing, you know, the cartoon Turtles with Batman, the animated series Batman. I think that the artist did a pretty darn good job doing Batman, that's for sure. I mean, there's Batman. I mean, he did pretty good with Batman, I would say. So, all in all, I gotta give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Average read. Again, it's going to depend on where you fall on the spectrum of fandom, and fandom towards the cartoons mostly, and knowledge of what the comics are like. It is not as mature as the other Batman TMNT, but it still has a really cool crossover feel to it. I will be enjoying the rest of this miniseries. I'm not sure if I will be reviewing it so heavily, but I definitely will be. We will see where this miniseries goes. And with that, that's it for this review. I'm sorry for the very broad spectrum. Again, it really depends on where you guys fall with this book. I enjoyed it. And I'm sure a lot of you out there will enjoy it as well. If this is what you've enjoyed, if you've enjoyed the cartoons, if you've enjoyed Batman, Turtles, you're going to enjoy this book. But again, it is not as matured as the previous. It's not the comic book versions of the characters. It's the cartoon one. So just keep that in mind when you read the book. I can't say that enough. Keep that in mind when you read this book. Still enjoyed it. Still looking forward to the next issue. Till next time, everybody, we are Comic Frontline, your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you want more Comic Frontline goodness, by the way, go over to comicfrontline.com. But if you're new here and you'd like to subscribe, please click the sub button. There are new videos popping up each and every day. We got 3 live shows. We've got Frontline Live, we got Media Madness, and we've got Dark Avenger Live, plus a bunch of other live shows we do, plus a bunch of other shows we do, plus a bunch of review shows, and a bunch of other things, Zone 4. We got lots of stuff going on Comic Frontline, and you definitely do not want to miss out on a single one of those things. Till next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see you guys really soon in the next video. Later, everybody.